favorite. 18.1 seconds left. You guys come out of that timeout. What were you hoping to get there? I know you guys got a decent look with Tiana cutting for that layup, but I don't know if that was what you were hoping for.
That was the baseline out of bounds.
Yep.
Yeah, we were trying to, see if we could get a back cut initially and then play quick into another action. And, we got it. I think they overhelped and we got a clean cut from TT. I didn't even see where she came from, but I would assume it's from where she was on the weak side. Got that, got the rebound, passed it through a lot of contact and got a wide open look. We missed it, and they made a couple shots at the end and we didn't.
Pre-game, you even kind of mentioned about letting things snowball. You even talked about the Dallas third quarter the other day. This one kind of spanned halftime a little bit.
Yep.
Kind of what happened during that stretch and how what's the key to being able to stop those stretches that you've mentioned before and kind of popped up again tonight?
I think it was a game where it was back and forth. Each team had their runs. That one that spanned halftime was obviously, I think, our worst one, but we had 2 minutes at the end of the first half where kind of our defensive stuff that was working, being in gaps, closing down Alyssa's driving lanes, just went out the window for 2 minutes. And they got a couple fouls, a back cut, a straight drive to the rim. And then, just obviously all game long, but particularly in those stretches, too many wasted possessions, too many turnovers where pressure took us out of our stuff or we threw into a crowd of people. And that's where we got to get a little bit smarter when we watch film and we prep and say a team is going to overhelp and crowd the paint. Your pass is probably not into the crowd of people. It's the ones filling behind or to draw the next defender and play on the backside. And when we did that, we made our run and got back in the game.
That was the last thing I was going to ask about was the turnovers. 20, right? Did you feel those were something that they were kind of actively pressuring you into, or was it a little bit of unforced?
Both. I mean, they're credit where it's due. They're a very good defensive team and have been for a long time. They clearly tried to not let us reverse the ball easily and come off handoffs clean and come off pick and rolls clean. And that's playoff basketball. So it's the test we need. I wish we were walking out of here with a win, having, solved that problem a little earlier in the game, but that's what it's going to be.
Kind of picking up on that, beyond the turnovers, just looking at the half court offense, how do you feel like the flow was? Do you feel like you were getting the cuts and the shots that you were looking for, or do you feel like it was still a little bit choppy at times?
I think when we were organized and knew what we were in and what our reads were, it was pretty good. When we got a little scattered and we got up against the shot clock, they were able to take us out of our action. And we also missed 14 shots in the paint. They were 11 for 25 in the paint. And we have a couple, there's going to be arms in. You might get a call, you might not. You're going to have to finish through some contact. You're going to have to jump stop, head fake, let somebody, like DeWanna did a couple times, somebody jump and land on you. You got to capitalize on more of those opportunities against a good defensive team. When you get the ball to the rim, you got to make it count.
How do you feel like Shakira and Ariel, which I think both their third games back, are you seeing, incremental progress from them?
Yes, I know Ariel's shooting numbers weren't great, but I thought she was pretty good all around in the way she played. And Kira had, that rough stretch at the end of the first half and then bounced back well, and I thought played a good second half.
And I just want to ask you defensively, 7 blocks. I think you're averaging 3 per game this season. Do you see a reason for the extra blocks tonight, and what do you make of that extra rim protection you got?
I mean, I played, we've had Queen and Kira now. It's the first game. I think we've probably played them both that many minutes. So you have rim protection there, and then Slim gets a couple. They wanted it to be 6. They made me use my challenge to make sure it was 7 blocks.
Eric, I know throughout the season, the team talked about there's been flashes of how things have looked and things have looked really good. Was the fourth quarter defense one of those flashes again that we saw, or what just did you not get the shots? What do you think fourth quarter defense did?
Yeah, I thought honestly, start to finish, our defense was probably the most consistent it's been in a while. I know there was a bad stretch or two, but we snapped out of it. Even the first quarter didn't feel like we were playing well, and you look up and they have 19 for the quarter. So if that's a quarter where you're not playing great, That should give you a little bit of confidence. And we turned around and got them to 17 in the second. Honestly, I think if we don't turn the ball over as much and give them some cheap ones, we're probably pretty happy with where our defense was. But yeah, we locked in.
And you mentioned Queen's rim protection there. She obviously was a huge part of that push that you made there in the fourth quarter and really got fired up in her matchup with AT. What'd you see with Queen today?
I thought she was active. I thought in the first half, she was a little tentative offensively, not like she was, playing tentative, but about just rolling hard at the rim. And once she decided she was just going to go be a rim presence offensively, it not only made life easier for everybody else, but all of a sudden everybody scrambled out and she got some stuff right at the basket. So I just like the attitude she played with. Her and Kira both.
Just one for me, Coach. Despite the adversity, the team is still, it's just a bend but don't break mentality. Can you just talk about the focus going into this final set of stretch of the season?
I mean, everything's in front of us still. What we want, what we set out to do at the start of the season, it's all in front of us. It's going to take a lot of work. We're playing good teams. There's not going to be any easy wins. And what I liked is in a playoff style atmosphere, we competed at the level that you need to in a playoff game. I told the team after the game, it was a playoff effort, playoff defense, and not quite playoff execution.
Any other in-person questions? That's it, Coach. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, quickie, Eric was just in here. He said playoff effort, playoff defense, not quite playoff execution. Is that a positive? Because execution is something that can be cleaned up.
Yeah, I think you've heard us talk about, when we were going through that stint this last month of losing and not losing the right way. But tonight, if we take a loss with how hard we played tonight, how well we executed at points, the effort, the buy-in, all that, then yeah, losses suck, but at least we did it the right way. And like Coach Eric said, the execution, the turnovers, it's very untypical of us, but Connecticut is a good team. You're not always going to get your first option when you're playing against them. So that's just a challenge to us to be able to figure out how they're playing us, read it, and adapt. And then to be able to adapt within the game. But I feel like overall tonight, we got better. On both ends of the floor, our defense looked good. We played some playoff basketball. So this is all positives that we can just continue to build off of. But this is who we are, and we're starting to get better along the way.
And just one more for me. What's the key to, teams are going to go on runs. It's the game. But, the one that spanned halftime, how do you stop those from getting to 20-point runs and keep them to a 10-point run?
Go ahead. Well, that's something that I actually talked about in one of our huddles tonight. When we started the third, we came out, we said we got to throw the first punch. We got to be able to put our foot down on the pedal. We come out, we don't execute our first play right. We run it wrong. We come back down, we give up a three. We come down, take a bullshit shot, come down, we give up another bucket, and that's a swing. So we call a timeout, we come out, and that's in our huddle. It's like we have to make a decision to stop the bleeding. We can't allow the bleeding to continue and snowball effect. At some point, we have to take pride in ourselves, especially on the defensive end, to allow our offense to come, to be able to lock in and execute. And then we did that, held them to 10 points in the fourth. So, we stepped up to that challenge today, but we got to be able to stop the bleeding ourselves with executing on the offensive end and being able to just buckle down and get stops on the defensive end when that shit is happening.
Kira, how are you feeling out there? A couple games in, what's feeling more comfortable? What's still left to put together?
Just taking it day by day.
What do you feel like you did well out there tonight?
I think I got better from last game.
In what way specifically?
I don't have nothing specific for you. I just felt like it got better.
Josh, what you see from Kira out there?
Kira's just doing her thing. I feel like she looks good. She's getting up and down. Her defense is always it always swings us, it always shifts us to have our rim protector there. It's always nice to be able to know that I'm going to get beat as a guard and they got to go through Kira once they get to the paint. She's getting her flow back. She's working her ass off. She's in here every single day, 9 a.m., working her ass off to be on the court for us. So she's just getting better day by day. And so she says that, she really means that. She's just getting better day by day.
They gotta go through Slim too, 3 blocks for Slim today.
I know she was showing out.
Period.
Offensively, you know, I know you guys want to score more points at the end of the day, but how did you feel like the flow was in the half court overall?
I thought it was better tonight. I think that one of the challenges with Connecticut is that they bully on defense, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just they're a tough defensive team. So what I am proud of is we stepped up to that challenge. I don't think we allowed them to really disrupt as much as they would have liked to. Where we need to get better is their counters to us specifically as players, forcing me to my left, forcing Kira to shoot jump shots, just trying to really take us out of what we like to do, right? But overall, I thought our pace was good tonight. We pushed the ball at them. We were able to get stops, get leak outs, run in transition, and really just put pressure on the paint and find our shooters. We didn't make shots tonight, which is very untypical of us. But I felt like for the most part tonight, our offense was moving. But when we can shift teams side to side and make them work for 24 seconds, it benefits us.
I just have one. Kira, going against AT tonight, it looked like you were getting pretty fired up with that matchup, just kind of enjoying the battle that you two are having. Is having a matchup against a player like Alyssa Thomas, is that something that you can just get your whole energy behind, and then kind of the injury kind of gets pushed back to the back of your mind, you don't have to worry about it as much if you're recovering?
Yeah, it can play a part, but I mean, I'm firing myself up honestly off myself, just wanting to be back. Yeah, I think it's a great matchup. Just both competitive. But yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing? Good to see you too.
Just one, not even about the game. Pre-game, I asked Tori just about her game is evolving. And she gave you flowers and said, I want to be a better communicator because Tosh is our vocal leader. Just talk about the system. I ask you this a lot, but you can tell us a bend but don't break. And you all play for each other. You first to pick up somebody when they fall. Where did that develop? Because it's, despite wins and losses, it's the love you all have. Where did that develop and how is that so strong now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do anything for anyone in this locker room. I run through a wall. I fight, I'll do whatever it is. That's just what it is. We go to war with each other every single night. We know that right now our backs are against the wall and all we got is each other. So what we're doing. Our backs are against the wall. We swinging like hell, all of us. And we're going to continue to do that, but that's just what it is. Whether or not we look like we're on the same page or not, at the end of the day, this locker room is close. We're going to defend each other. We're going to protect each other. And we're just going to continue to keep fighting with our backs against the wall.
Great pass. Looks like Jalen Hurts out there with that pass.
Okay, tell him.
Well.
What y'all cowboy ass fan? Boo.
Hey Tosh.
Hey, girl.
It was announced earlier that you passed Nick and Trey Pinson a tall time.
Period.
Can you talk a little bit about that and what it means to you that you just honored her 2 days ago?
Yeah. I actually had no idea when that
She lied.
visual. No, for real. I thought it was the most random ass number too.
It was.
Because y'all started grabbing my shoulders. I'm like, why y'all touching me?
Like-
And I look up and I'm like, oh, okay. So I had no idea, but our last game was a bittersweet moment. We talked a little bit about it afterwards. To honor a beautiful woman, a beautiful life lived, an impactful life lived, a great and phenomenal coach, but even better human being. So tonight to be a part of this organization my entire career. I've been here 8 years. I've been drafted here. I grew here. I grew up here. I've been supported here and loved. To be able to follow that game up and honoring her, this is my way of honoring her, I feel like, as an individual player, of being very similar in the sense of we love to make other people happy and smile, and we are healers. We give We give our light. So to honor her tonight, that was really huge for me. Again, to only have played here in my career and to continue to just edge my name in some of the history books. That's been my dream. I'm a mid-major kid that was never supposed to be here. So I take a lot of pride in it, but even more so that I can pay my homage to Nikki and her family as well. Thank you.
Any other in-person questions? I think that's it then. Thank you both.
Thank